like, listen, I'm coming back, make another run at this thing. How do you beat that?
It didn't matter what I did. Everything just clicks.
When I took my clothes off and everyone's like, oh, this isn't the same guy.
And the title of 2008 Mr. Olympia, and you can take it too, Dexter Jackson!
And then I lost to Dexter.
But you were definitely just shattered. You were just devastated because you just won twice, because I just felt like, holy shit, this guy just took his whole life and chased the best bodybuilder on the planet, Ronnie Coleman, in the history of the planet and the history of the sport. And now he had a tough run, and then you go in and you lose to Dex. And I'm sure nobody saw that coming.
But I realized my body wasn't getting better, right? So that's when you're really like, after the show, not even at backstage, you're just like, wow, okay, what are people gonna think? What's my legacy?
And I remember it affected you because you kept bringing it up.
They weren't confident that I was going to come back. And I mean, I lost support of everyone, people not believing in you. I was the victim of that. Everyone gave up on me.
I need to go out.
The question was, what's next? How do you beat that? I'm like, listen, I'm coming back. Make another run at this thing.
I've been there, I've fallen down, and I'm coming back to once again stand there alone. And there's a lot of people right now that doubt that I'm gonna come back to do that. But there was a lot of people in the beginning that doubted when I was placing second.
But you didn't give up. That was the thing, you didn't give up. You went in and you said, I'm gonna do this again.
I just went like guns blazing.
It was all that hard work, everything else, and there's so much buildup and so much pressure.
Spent 6 years trying to win that title and take it from Ronnie, and it only took him 2 years to give it back. And no one in the history of this contest has ever lost the contest, come back and reclaim the Sandow Trophy, and that's what Jay's trying to do.
Like when I took my clothes off and everyone's like, holy, this isn't the same guy. Just in awe. I walked out on that stage that night. I mean, I knew right then, as soon as I took the step up, I said, it's over.
And then he reinvented himself in 2009. When he walked out, he just rewrote the record books with that type of physique.
In the title of 2009 Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler!
Dude, you were grinding for so long.
It's no secret, a lot of people in the industry wrote you off pretty much this past year.
Everyone wrote me off. Achievements that people say could not be done. I've done what everyone said that can't be done.
I want to make the improvements and be better than I ever have. I want to see changes in my physique that people say that can't happen. I've always been against the odds. I've always been the guy that, in the beginning they said I'd never be a pro bodybuilder, and then, it turned into, once I turned professional, I was told I'd never be a good pro bodybuilder, and then, I won one professional show, they said, well, you can't win the big one, and then I won the big one, and, there's still always ways that people try to tear you down, but I know what physique that I want to build. I know what goals I want to accomplish. A lot of people won't go the extra mile to improve, but I will. This is the extra things I do to be a winner. You have to dedicate your life to this. I mean, you have to eat, sleep, train consistently for years.
As far as diet and training, listen, man, I did whatever it took to win. You have to eat even when you're not hungry. That's the most important thing.
Dry turkey, dry rice.
You gotta eat on the clock. You gotta eat consistently day to day. Remember, you skip a meal the day prior, it's gonna affect the next day. It's gonna affect the workouts, it's gonna affect the transition in the weight. Be trying to gain weight, you gotta stay active.
Whatever it is, I'll do it. I gotta win.
You never want to show the weight that you're scared. Staying motivated in a routine and also staying on a strict diet. Pretty much you have to have the discipline. I mean, you have to fit your bodybuilding lifestyle into your current lifestyles. And let's be honest, seeing improvements is going to be a motivating factor to anyone. That's really what gave me the drive and the motivation. Anyone that's good at something obviously strives to be better and better. The best thing to do is plan ahead. I think A lot of people just try to go by the flow, and that's not necessarily the best way because active life gets in the way. Remember, bodybuilding, and I stress over and over, takes a pattern of a lot of things, but it's mainly working for the pump and doing repetitions. It's not about 1 or 2 or 3 flow reps. It's about 8 to 12 repetitions, getting constant blood flow to the muscle in order to get that round muscle looking.
I'll say this without arrogance. Jay Cutler is the greatest bodybuilder of all time.
No pain, come on. Dig. Yeah. Come on. No pain. Come on, get that.
Oh, yeah.
They want to see how far their potential actually goes, and I think that's the same thing with trying to see what the weight training, of course, getting your body in the right kind of condition, whether it be to be a bodybuilder competitively, just to be fit, or basically to lose body fat. I think anything in progression and success is going to give you that edge.
I never had a lot of self-doubt. People look at it as arrogance, and I'm just so confident that maybe sometimes I come off as that, but I've been knocked out enough times and came back from it that I just never gave up, and I always believed in myself. And I mean, I was so disciplined, man. There was no bodybuilder on this fucking planet that was more disciplined than I was at that time. I felt like a fucking machine, man. Everything just clicked. Like I told you, I could do anything. I went in the gym and I trained with light weights, I trained with heavy weights. It didn't matter what I did. Everything just clicks.
It was always just trying to get enough to get that blood flow in there, pump the muscle up, get out of the gym and feed it.
Each year he wasn't getting much better than he was the previous year, so he was getting worse and worse.
And that was the talk before the show. If I wasn't at my best, I would lose.
Man, I just knew I could beat him that show. I knew it wasn't going to be on.
I was just so young and just, I was so, naive. I really didn't know much about anything. I really didn't know how to pose. I really didn't know anything, but I had the physique, I had the structure. And once I learned how to eat, and learned how to, train properly, and, I wanted to be the best. That losing and winning was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, because the fans that hated Jay Cutler now loved him again. And that's what I love most about my career, is that my body did the talking and my movement did the talking. I walked out on stage that night, and you remember, that was for sure the greatest moment of my life, winning the Mr. Olympia. When I came out, I just came out there, I did that in quad stomp. And it's like the place went fucking crazy, man. My dad my dad was a pusher, man. I hated my dad a lot of times early in my life because he would just make me work, and he taught me to be a machine, And it really gave me the work ethic to be who I am as a bodybuilder, and to be relentless, and had to learn the value of working hard to achieve certain things. And I knew going into bodybuilding, it wasn't going to be easy. He's like, I'm telling you, you can beat Ronnie Coleman. Jay, I'm telling you, you're going to beat this guy. I'm telling you, Jay, you're going to beat this guy. So in the lineup, when I was standing next to Ronnie, people are like, holy, Jay's beating Ronnie Coleman from the front. It's the first time in my career that I actually knew I'm going to win the Mr. Olympia contest. I knew myself I would win it. And I knew in 2006, I knew 100% I was going to win the Mr. Olympia in 2006. I had no doubt in my mind. But every year I watched Ronnie stand next to me, and before he fell on the ground and he cried, he was scared. He was scared. You'll see Ronnie Coleman mouthing some things to me, and Ronnie Coleman said, well, you beat me. He said, you won.